Alright, so before we begin adding our final details, let's do a quick check over our mesh, make sure that everything is closed up and is looking good. So to do this, a great way to do it is go to Views and XView. And normally if I'm checking for holes or vertices that may not be welded, I would use overlapping faces or even overlapping vertices. Let's go ahead and take a look at overlapping faces and see if we get anything. So it's going to come up and you need to say click here to update, just left click on that. And it says two faces are overlapping. So we'll take a look and you can see it's highlighted in green here. You can see there's a little bit of an issue. And what's happened is it looks like we didn't weld this point together. So to take care of this, let's go ahead and grab these three edges and grab our move tool and let's just pull that back and you'll see that hole that comes up there. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take care of this long triangle that we have here. And I'm going to use this to help with that. Now you might be asking, how are we going to do that? Well, I'm going to actually go ahead and create a loop that goes from here back down. So to do this, let's go ahead and go to edge mode. Okay, let's go here and here, and what we're going to do is we're going to use connect, and let's take our slide amount down. Okay, and let's take it to right about there, and we'll hit OK. Let's try that one more time. It looks like I missed the OK button. Now hit OK, there we go. And let's go to vertex mode, hitting 1 on the keyboard. Select the two vertices there and just simply use connect. And then we're going to go to polygon mode by hitting 4 on the keyboard and delete that triangle. Then what we'll do is go back to edge mode, select these two edges and bridge. And that will create a polygon in that hole. Alright, great. So with that, you know, I think I might want to go ahead and create an edge that goes all the way around inside of that. I think that would help with trying to retain the edges whenever we smooth this out. Now I'm going to show you what that looks like here in just a little bit whenever we start the smoothing process. And so I'm just kind of planning out ahead a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get rid of these three edges, okay, and hit Control Backspace. Then I'm going to grab all of these edges right here, okay, even up to here, and then beyond this, okay, and then we'll go right up to here. And I'm going to go ahead and stop right here because what I'll do is I'll just convert it to a triangle to end that. So with those set, let's go ahead and use connect on that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the slide to 0, and then I'm going to take my pinch. And it looks like our pinch is not going to work because we're dividing it with a segment. That's okay. Let's go ahead and just hit OK on that. And then we're going to convert our selection to vertices. So hold down Control and click on vertex mode. You'll see that all those edges are now converted to vertex selections. Let's go to our scale tool and we'll scale it in the X direction. We're going to scale it toward that edge there. So get it pretty close, about the same distance that we have here. Now we'll select this edge, this vertex and that vertex here, and hit connect. And let's do the same thing here. And then we'll go up to the top because now what we have is this 5-sided polygon that we've created. And all I'll do is simply select these two edges and hit connect, and that'll create a triangle there. And that's okay. Connect that. Looks good. All right, so now we have that ready to go. Let's go ahead and take a look at the smoothing on this. So let's go ahead and just turn off our overlapping faces. Let's get that out of the way. Let's also hit G on the keyboard, turn off our grid. And I'm going to go to Turbo Smooth. So you can just simply scroll down the list. You'll find Turbo Smooth. And you'll see how that smooths out the mesh. Let's go ahead and take it up to maybe 2 or 3 iterations and then turn on Isoline Display so that way we get this nice clean look. So you'll notice that our gun doesn't really look as good as it should. Okay, it looks like Play-Doh. Okay, it's just very mushy. So what we need to do is we need to retain the volume of our mesh. And so to begin that process, we can add in loops. And so loops can be very easy to add. What we'll do is we'll select the object, we'll go back to Editable Poly, but I also want to turn on Show End Result so I can see the smoothing result. Now let's go to Edge Mode, and I want to change the color of my cage just because it's hard to see with that orange, at least for me. And to change the color of your cage, you'll go to Subdivision Surface, change the color from orange to something like a light blue. And then you'll also change your selection color from yellow to red. I find that much, much easier to see. All right, so let's go ahead and go to Edit and Swift Loop. Now you can find this under your ribbon. Make sure that's activated. Go to Modeling, Edit, Swift Loop. This will allow us to add loops very, very quickly to our model. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to add a loop right across the edge here. Okay, and I'm just taking a look at how that is going to loop through, and it looks like it's going to go all the way around and even up to this point here. And I don't know if I really want that to happen, but I do need an edge to go right across the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to manually put that in. So let's go ahead and turn off Show End Result, and let's add in, let's select these edges right here. Okay, and actually let me go ahead and select the other side too. And what this is going to do is whenever we add edges that are really close to another edge, what will happen whenever we add that Turbo Smooth modifier is it will crease that edge, so making it look like it's retaining its volume of the original model, which you see here. So let's just continue to select all of these edges here. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and just use Connect, okay, to do this. Now we're going to do it just like we did before. Let's connect it, make sure that it's set to 1, hit OK, and then we're going to convert our selection to vertex. So hold down Control, left click on the vertex mode, grab your scale tool, and scale that out toward the edge, just like so. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this edge, or excuse me, that vertex and this one, and connect. And we'll do the same thing here. And then we're going to take this edge, all three of those, and we'll just simply connect those. And let's go to vertex mode, hold down Control, select your vertex mode, and scale those in. So that way we get this nice little loop that goes through here. Okay. Let's also make sure we take care of the other edge too, that it does that as well. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to just take this edge, or that vertex and this vertex. I don't know why I keep saying that. And let's hit Connect. Okay, there we go. Now let's take a look at this Turbo Smooth, what it looks like whenever it's added there. Notice the nice hard edge that goes around the top, okay, giving us the shape that we want out of the main portion of the frame. Now we need to go ahead and add some of those details in just to get this looking right. Now there is a little bit of an issue right here. It's really soft. Let's go ahead and just go to Edit Poly, Edge Mode, and then we're going to use our Swift Loop, and let's just cut right across that. Notice how that gets really hard there. Let's also cut one right across here. Okay, that's underneath, and it looks good. All right. Let's also take a look here at the bottom edge. Let's cut that. Okay, and we're looking good there. All right, so I'm happy with the way that's looking so far. Let's see. You know, actually, there's a little bit of a pinch right here, and I don't really like the way that looks. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm actually going to connect these two vertices. Okay, so to go about doing that, what we'll do is we'll get rid of the polygons that are in between that. Let's just simply delete that there. And then I'm going to just simply target weld this vertex to here, and then this one up to here, and this one to here. Okay. So very good. Now we've gotten rid of that weird pinch that was in there. We've got a nice flat surface here. All right, very good. So now, one other thing that I'm noticing here is I'm going to take this vertex right here, and I'm also going to take this one. I'm going to push that out a little bit. Let's make sure that we have edge constraint turned on. Grab your scale tool and just scale those away from one another and get them pretty close to the edge there, just like that. Okay, good. All right, so now we have that all set up there, looking hard and nice across the top. All right, so now let's add in our final details for the back here. Because we've added in those loops, we don't have to worry about those loops along the inside of our detail. So let's go to polygon mode and let's select these polygons right here, just those 6, and then I'm going to use inset. Okay, and we'll inset that maybe like 0.1 is good, and then we're going to extrude that, but we're going to extrude it along its local normal, and then we're going to pull that into the model. Let's do negative 0.5. Okay, we don't need very much. All right, so now we've got that set in there. We've got the hole where the hammer is going to fall into. Okay, that looks good. And then we could go ahead and do the same thing for the trigger, but I'm going to wait on that because we want to make sure that we get all of these nice hard edges. Let's also thin up the trigger guard really quickly. So to do this, let's go to vertex mode. I'm going to select these vertices here. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to use soft selection. So let's say use soft selection. You'll notice that we get this colored set of vertices. Let's take our fall off down. And let's take it down pretty low. Let's go to something like maybe around 3 or so. So just type in 3. And then we're going to scale that in and watch what happens. Notice the red vertices, the one we had selected, are scaling in faster than the others. And so we get this nice fall off on the trigger guard. Okay, looking good. I'm also going to take these right in here, and I'm going to bring those in a little bit too, just kind of help with the transition, so it's nice and smooth there. All right, very good. Okay, so now that we have that set, we've got our details in. Let's go ahead and go into our next